Bula, let's visit a place on earth where happiness comes naturally.
Welcome to Travel Tuesday with Teresa, the ultimate source of wanderlust inspiration. Join the journey led by your host, Teresa Belcher.
Bula, today my guest is going to showcase all things Fiji, explaining what Bula means and showcase everything you need to know about planning your vacation to Fiji. My co-host today is Brianna McCarthy with Tourism Fiji. Welcome to the show, Brianna.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great. So what does Bula mean in Fijian?
You will hear Bula everywhere you go in Fiji. It's a common greeting, but the direct translation is not hello. It's a greeting of breath of life and good wish for happiness and health.
Oh, awesome. That's beautiful. So you're going to, in your presentation, explain why Fiji has the reputation of being one of the happiest places on earth, and it comes naturally. So it's over to you.
So Bula, everyone, that is that word that Teresa mentioned too. It's spelled B-U-L-A, and you have to say it with a lot of enthusiasm because you will hear it throughout your visit to Fiji. You'll fall in love with the word just like you will fall in love with Fiji while you're there. We like to say in Fiji, this is where happiness comes naturally. And that is a picture of myself being very happy in Fiji with a warrior who walked around the property at sunset and lit up all the torches. It's just one of the unique things that you will get to experience when you are in Fiji. So first, let's talk about how to get to Fiji, because I'm sure you're all wondering, well, how do I get to Fiji? And the way that you do so is by flying on Fiji Airways. So they are our international carrier. They're the only carrier that flies nonstop out of North America on Fiji Airways. And they fly, as you can see on this map, nonstop from LAX, San Francisco, Vancouver, Canada, our newest route out of Dallas, and also out of Honolulu. And you can see the approximate flight times on your screen. The flight that leaves out of LA and San Francisco is approximately 10 hours, Dallas a little longer at 13, and Vancouver at 11 hours, and finally out of Honolulu, 5 hours. Now, for all of you who may be loyal to the One World family, so that would be people who have maybe status with American Airlines, they have become a full member of One World. And when you fly on Fiji Airways, they have the A350 planes going down to Fiji. And this is a picture of the Bula space, also known as the economy class. So it's in a 333 configuration, 3 seats on each side. Remember that number because there is a significance to Fiji 333. If you want to fly down in business class, they have fully lie flat seats. It's in what we call a 1-2-1 configuration, which basically means everybody has access to the aisle, and they are fully lie flat seats. You also get a multi-course meal as well as breakfast upon arrival. Now let's start with a little bit of Fiji 101 for those of you who may not be so familiar with Fiji. So it is located in the South Pacific. It is comprised of about 333 islands. So there's that number I just previously mentioned to you. They have a little less than 1 million people in Fiji. And the good news for those of you who are based in the US and Canada with your US and Canadian passports, you do not need a visa to fly to Fiji. So you could get on that plane tonight and you could wake up in happiness. Also, because they were colonized by the British. Now, they are an independent country, but they were colonized by the British. And so English is their first official language. Although, like I said to you, Bula earlier, they definitely speak Fijian socially amongst each other. So you will hear Fijian while you are there. And once again, that word Bula, it is a common greeting, but it is also more than that. It's a wish for happiness, good health, and the energy of life. Now, oftentimes people want to know, well, when's the best time of year to go to Fiji? And I like to say that the best time of year to go is when you have availability because they have year-round warm weather year-round warm water. So it's very pleasant surfing and snorkeling and scuba diving and swimming. But because they are in the southern hemisphere, their seasons are opposite ours. And with that, they also only really have two seasons. So their winter season would be from May to October, their summer season, November to April. And like you can see on those temperatures on your screen, still year-round warm weather. Now, in terms of crowds or peak season, the most popular times of year to travel to Fiji would be between the months of June to August. For one reason, we've got out of North America, kids are out of school, so lots of families are traveling. It's also when the weather in Fiji is a little less humid, so this would be considered more the dry season. So it's also a popular time for the Aussies and the Kiwis to fly to Fiji because they are very closely located to Fiji, only 3 hours from New Zealand, 4 hours from Australia by plane. Also, this December and New Year's holidays is also just a very popular time to visit because, well, it's when everybody is traveling. Everybody's out of school and work celebrating for the holidays. So really, if you're looking to go when the weather is somewhat stable, mild, and also better availability, less crowds, the shoulder seasons are a great time to go. So I always recommend maybe a spring break trip in between April to May, or also September into November. Even maybe a Thanksgiving trip is also a good time of year to go to Fiji. Now, one of the reasons why you should consider Fiji is it's actually a great value for money. So right now with the exchange rate, if you were to take a US dollar, you would more than double it when you got to Fiji in Fijian dollars. Also in Fiji, similar to other South Pacific countries like Australia and New Zealand, they don't have a culture of tipping. So there's not individual tipping, although the resorts do have a tip gratuity box. So upon checkout, if you enjoyed your stay, if you want to leave a little bit of something for the staff, you can leave that in the gratuity box. And then at the end of the year, right around the holidays, they divide those gratuities evenly amongst the staff, and everybody goes home with a little something extra for the holidays. Also, you're going to receive a lot of resort amenities like complimentary Wi-Fi, non-motorized water sports like your snorkel equipment, your stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, and you're not going to get charged an additional resort fee. So that's why we say Fiji is great value for money. Now, we also say that in Fiji is where we deal in hidden gems. So what are those hidden gems? Well, it's those hidden gems, which is what allows Fiji to be a place where happiness comes naturally. So first and foremost, one of Fiji's hidden gems is that there is something for everyone. So whether you want to travel for relaxation, Fiji has wonderful spas. You can get everything from a traditional Swedish massage or something more Fijian, like a bomba style massage, or this treatment that you're looking at here where she has been covered in coconut oil. Coconut is native to Fiji, and then wrapped in banana leaves to really seal in all that moisture. Or if you are somebody who scuba dives, or maybe you want to learn to scuba dive, Fiji is an incredible place to go scuba diving. For one thing, for sure, they are the soft coral capital of the world. So that's a specific type of coral. And as you can see from this picture, we have beautiful coral to see, and we have more coral actually than some other places like the Caribbean, the Red Sea, and Mexico. And we're also surrounding by fringing reefs. So even if you don't want to scuba dive, if you want to snorkel, there's lots of beautiful, incredible places that are shallow enough that you can see this coral just by snorkeling. If you travel for adventure, we have it in Fiji. So whether you want to go whitewater rafting, like you can see in this picture here, they're on the Navua River along the Pacific Harbor portion of our main island, or perhaps you want to go ziplining or off-road ATVing, we have adventure in Fiji. If you're into hiking, you can do some beautiful coastal walks. You can go up and hike up into the rainforest and be covered by greenery. You can cool off under a waterfall when you're done with your hike. Fiji definitely has beautiful hiking. Or if you travel to eat, if you love to try local eats, local cuisine, Fiji definitely has it. So their fruit, they've got lots of exotic kinds of fruits. I particularly recommend the pineapple. Their pineapples are smaller than the ones that you get here in North America, so they're sweeter. They also don't have a core, so you can just eat the whole thing. The picture that you're looking at here is kokonda. This is a traditional ceviche style fish dish. So it is a ceviche, but it is has coconut milk added to it, so that's why it's got that creamy look to it. Also curry. So fun fact about Fiji, that a good portion of their population is what is called Indo-Fijian. So that means that they are descendants from the Indians that were brought over from India by the British to work in the sugar plantations. And so Fiji also has wonderful Indian food, curries in particular. Kava on your screen is a traditional drink. It is consumed ceremoniously. So it comes from a pepper tree. So it's got a bit of a tingly feeling when you drink it. Also, they do drink it to relax socially. And then lastly, Lovo. Lovo is an underground style of cooking. So many of the resorts, once a week, they will have what they call Fijian night, which means they start cooking their dinner earlier in the day, Lovo style underground. You can watch it being cooked, and then later that night, they will serve it for dinner. Another one of Fiji's gems, it is a romantic escape. On my one of my recent trips to Fiji, I was seeing these beautiful resorts, adults only, and I wished my husband was there with me. Many of the resorts, as I mentioned, there's 333 islands in Fiji. Not all of them are inhabited, and so some of the resorts actually have their own private islands, maybe just right across the waterway, and you can do an excursion where they'll pack a picnic basket for you, take you out to that private island, maybe give you a walkie-talkie, say, give us a call when the champagne runs out. Also, Fiji has wonderful adults-only resorts, and within those adults-only resorts, they might have very exclusive accommodations, so maybe some separated villas or bures, as the traditional word is for a thatched-style dwelling. A lot of them have plunge pools, like you can see in your photo here, or indoor showers. And of course, weddings. So whether you want to elope to Fiji, some of the resorts actually do some complimentary elopement packages, whether you want to go to Fiji and you want to propose on that private island, or whether you want to do a destination wedding. A lot of the resorts are relatively on the boutique side, so maybe only 25 accommodations, which would be perfect for a small micro wedding in Fiji. Now, we have romance in Fiji, but Fiji also has wonderful family options. So we like to say in Fiji, Fiji is family. And the reason why we keep family close, and yours included, as we like to say, is because traditionally speaking, Fijians commonly have large families. And as they say, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. They are used to being around lots of siblings, lots of cousins, lots of aunties and uncles, helping to care for those large families. And that care translates into the guests that come to visit Fiji. So one of the ways that they care for children in Fiji when you are visiting is with the Bula Club. So any of the resorts that are all ages, family-friendly resorts are going to have a Bula Club. This is their kids club, and it's complimentary. All of the resorts do it slightly different. So some resorts, it might be from ages 4 to 12. Some might have a teen program that is over that age. Some of the resorts also will have Bula buddies. These are nannies, essentially, for the younger ones, the little babies that are too young to go to the Bula Club. This is something that you can, as a guest, you can either book for maybe an hour if you just want to have someone stay with the baby while you go off to dinner with your loved one, or it could be an all-day thing. If perhaps you want to go out scuba diving and you want to have someone to look after your child while you are away. Some of the resorts actually include this complimentary. So if that is something that you think that you're going to want when you go to Fiji, definitely look into staying at one of the resorts that offers it complimentary. And if they don't, to be honest, because of that exchange rate, because of that value for money I previously mentioned, it's actually not normally a very high charge for an hourly rate to hire a Bula buddy for a couple of hours to look after your baby. Another reason why Fiji is has hidden gems. One of our hidden gems is the Bula spirit. So that word Bula, as I mentioned, you're going to hear it everywhere you go. But that Bula spirit really means the culture of Fiji. So in Fiji, we like to say they have a living culture. And the way that they keep that culture going is that they still retain a village system. So just a little history lesson real quickly for you. When Fiji was colonized by the British actually allowed the Fijians to retain their village system. And that village system is alive and well today. Even if somebody lives in maybe one of the big cities, like the capital city of Suva, they still have a village that they're from, that they call their family, maybe their mother, their father, their aunties, their cousins still live in that village. And those villages oftentimes are located nearby a resort. The resorts have a nice partnership with those villages. Sometimes the people who live in the village work in the resort, and they have weekly village visits. So it's something to inquire with. Also, sometimes the excursions will include a visit to a village during the excursion. And when you go to a village, you can meet the locals, you can maybe try their cuisine, perhaps maybe you will watch some meke. Meke is a performance of story, singing, and dancing, and it's a traditional Fijian practice. Or perhaps you'll be able to participate in a kava ceremony. So I mentioned to you earlier what kava is, and this is a picture of that traditional ceremony. Another one of Fiji's hidden gems is that when you are in Fiji, you are in their home. Fijians love to share their home with you. And so another thing that you will hear commonly when you're in Fiji is when you arrive at your resort is welcome home. And more than just welcome home, we like to say there's a home for everyone in Fiji. So let's talk about some of the resort options. Now, I'm only going to give an overview to kind of show the diversity of resorts, and there's a good fit for everyone. So first off, you're looking at an 18-hole golf course, which is a part of the Intercontinental Fiji Golf Resort and Spa. It is on our main island of Viti Levu. It's about a 50-minute drive from the international airport. And this is a great resort if you're a family, if you're a golfer, if you like large resorts. This is one of our largest in terms of room numbers. Also, wonderful adult restaurant on property. They have an adults only pool. They have an all ages pool, large spa. All of their suites come with outdoor day beds and Cleopatra baths, which is a really unique amenity. Or another adult only plus family friendly resort is the Marriott Momi Bay. So oftentimes people ask about the overwater bungalows, and this is one of the resorts. So those overwater bungalows, those are the adults only section. And then as you can see in the distance, those individual berets, those are the family friendly or all ages berets. And this is part of the Marriott collection. Now, leaving the main island of Viti Levu, going out to the Mama Nuta Island chain, you will find the 5-star luxury resort of Six Senses. So it's located on a 120-acre site, so lots of green vegetation, lots of exclusivity and privacy. They only actually have 24 villas. You're looking at one of their multi-room villas that has its actual own personal private lap pool. Also, these multi-room villas, they have full kitchens. You can have a private chef come and cook dinner for you. It is all ages, so they also have a Bula club. They have a world-renowned spa where they have lots of different wellness programs. Within the Mama Nuta Islands, just like Six Senses that I talked to you about, is another resort, a boutique resort. This is Liku Liku Lagoon. And this is our other resort that has those overwater bungalows. And the reason why there's a heart on the screen is to indicate that this is adults only. So if you are going on a honeymoon or a romantic couples only trip, Liku Liku is definitely a wonderful option. And lastly, in that Mama Nuta Island chain that I mentioned to you, on the screen here is Vomo Island, Fiji. So this is an all ages resort, although you are looking at a pool of their adults only pool. They have an all ages kid friendly pool and then an adults only pool. They have 34 villas. Most of them are ocean facing. They have 2 private beaches on their own exclusive island. Wonderful kids club program that extends all the way up into the teens. And they also have private residences from 3 to 4 bedrooms. So if you're a family and you're looking for multiple rooms for the whole family to be able to stay together, Vomo Island, Fiji is a good option. Next up, we've got Kokomo Private Island, Fiji. This is a wonderful, luxurious property. They actually have what is called full board. So you're on a private island. Full board means you get 3 meals a day included with your stay. It's located off the coast of Viti Levu on its own private island. And you can get there with a private seaplane or helicopter flight from the international airport. It's about a 45-minute flight. Next up on another exclusive private island, you can see from this screen here, is Royal Davui Island. And that red heart on your screen indicates that it is adults only. Wonderful resort if you're looking for someplace for exclusivity, for romance, for a honeymoon, for an anniversary trip. Not only is it adults only, but it only has a total of 32 guests on site total at one time. And that's because there's only 16 villas. So 1 couple per villa, you do the math, it's 32 guests. They also just went through a massive renovation. So beautiful, luxurious property. Next up, we've got Jean-Michel Cousteau Resort. This is located on our 2nd largest island of Vanua Levu. And the way you would get there is once you arrived in Nandi International Airport, you would then hop on a domestic flight up to Jean-Michel Cousteau Resort. It's a 1-hour domestic flight. They call themselves a luxury boutique eco resort, and they overlook the beautiful Savu Savu Bay. This is a wonderful all ages property. You're looking at a pool and just in the background there, that is their adults only pool. They have a kid friendly pool. They have an amazing Bula club. This is actually built to emulate a traditional Fijian village. So that's that thatch style roof that you're looking at in the distance of the picture. All of their 25 berets face out to the ocean. And so this is also on the former site of a coconut plantation. So lots of areas to roam around and to explore, especially if you have lots of kids that will be joining you. Next up, we've got Como Luthala Island. So this is another private island resort. They have their own private airstrip for chartered flights. Private planes can fly you directly onto the island after you arrive at Nandi International Airport. It's very small. They've only got 10 berets. Those berets are 1 to 3 bedrooms. One of the romantic things that they offer are private beach dinners. Also, if you're a golfer, they've got a small 9-hole golf course. And now that I've gone over all of the ways that Fiji can make you happy, also some options for places that you can stay, I always like to ask people who is ready for Fiji. And the reason being is because if you look, I just checked the weather today. It's 75 degrees in Fiji. And doesn't that look nice? And with that, I will just like to say, Vanaka Vaka Le Vu. This is thank you. Thank you very much in Fijian, another common word that you will hear while you are in Fiji. And I guarantee you will enjoy your visit so much that you will say Vanaka lots of times when you are in Fiji.
Awesome. Vanaka, Brianna, you did a fabulous job and very informative on giving us Fiji 101, which is what newcomers need to know. I personally have been to Fiji, and I'm sure you have been way more than I have since you work for the tourism board. But if anyone is interested in planning their vacation to Fiji, please reach out to me. I'm Teresa from Honeymoon Islands. And I'll leave my contact information below this video. So if you can dream it, we will create it. Bye. Vanaka. Bye, Brianna.
Vanaka.